Hi everybody, I wish a very happy learning to you all. I am glad to deliberate on the topic Women in Management. The major learning objective is to identify the status of women in management broadly. The presence and status of women in employment has accentuated over the last half century. Though women had made greater strides, the challenges still remain. The competitive global environment has witnessed the corporates taking efforts to promote and retain women at work. Let me take you through the slideshow, which is lined up in the order of introduction, learning objectives, women in higher education, women in national and international organizations, women in corporate world, inspiring success stories, challenges of women managers, strategies to overcome barriers. The objectives are to comprehend the presence of women administrators in higher education, corporate sector, national and international organizations, understand the impact of women in the board or in top administration, assess the challenges in the pathway to success of women, inspire the learners through the success stories, equip with adequate knowledge and create a future workforce who acknowledge gender diversity issues, develop strategic leaders nationally and globally. The women in this sector is underrepresented and gender disparity prevails in top positions. The number of women in top positions is very low. We have Dr. Vidya-mitra, the Vice Chancellor of Symbiosis University, who exudes confidence, strength and zeal. She believes that her strength lies in her effective communication as well as her interpersonal skills. We have Dr. Indrajit Kaur as the first Vice Chancellor in North India, who is seen along with Dr. Thodam Prabhadevi, the youngest women Vice Chancellor of an Indian university, a first ever woman who holds high profile post from Manipur. The government aims to increase the participation of women in higher education. It is high time that capacity enhanced programs are implemented to motivate women capable of becoming administrators for the qualitative development of higher education. One of the empirical studies had found that women are not being identified and prepared for the positions at the top. There is also evidence globally that women do aspire for leadership. They are frequently not given an opportunity for the most senior positions. However, we also found that many women academics are reluctant to aim for senior leadership and perceive it as a burdensome career option. Deliberates on women in national and international organizations. There were voices for women empowerment globally. It is a surprise to note that heads of various national and international organizations are predominantly male. It is quite amazing to learn that the women administrators heading such organizations have wide experience and have really made themselves deserving to be at the top with all right qualities. Starting with Arina Georgieva Bukova, the Bulgarian politician and the incumbent Director General of UNESCO. She is working on enhancing world peace and security indicators and the development of political and cultural exchanges. We have Helen Clark, the administrator of UNDP. She was Prime Minister of New Zealand between 1999 to 2008. She concentrated on policy development and advocacy across the international, economic, social and cultural spheres. We have Jose Sheeran, the President and CEO of the Asia Society, who works on strengthening the relations between and among the United States and countries of Asia. We have Margaret Chan Fung Fuchun, Director General of World Health Organization. Chan indicated that universal coverage is a powerful equalizer and the most powerful concept of public health. Then we have Navanidham Navi Pillai, who is the High Commissioner for Human Rights from 2008 to 2014, who worked against use of torture and poor conditions of political detainees. We have Phumzile Lambu Inguka, the United Nations Women Executive Director, who worked on the gender equality and the empowerment of women. We have Carla Koppel, the Senior Coordinator for Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment, and she is Senior Advisor to USAID Administrator. She is working on peace processes around the world involving women and civil society. Next we have Catherine M. Russell, who is the Secretary's Office of Global Women's Issues, who is working on protecting women's rights across the globe. We have Sarah Mendelson, the Senior Advisor and Director of Human Rights Initiative at Center for Strategic and International Studies, who is again working on protection of human rights. We have Dr. Jyotsna Suri, the Chairman of FICCI, who has been associated with Bharat Hotels and who is working on access to quality education leading to employment. We have Chitra Ramakrishna, the first women Managing Director and the Chief Executive Officer of the National Stock Exchange, who tirelessly working on the strategic initiatives in maintaining rich legacy of National Stock Exchange. We have Lalita Kumar Mangalam, the Chairman of National Commission for Women, who is the advisor to the government on all policy matters affecting women. We have Anita Kapoor, the Chairperson of Central Board of Direct Taxes. She took over the top charge after her appointment was made by the government as incumbent Central Board of Direct Taxes. We have Veena Kohli, who is heading All India Women's Conference and working on upliftment and betterment of women and children. To comprehend women's roles as successful leaders, it is important to understand that the approaches that women use to lead effectively as global leaders, such as utilizing multiple intelligences and true leadership. On women in corporate world, in India, women comprise about 30% of corporate senior management positions, which is notably higher than the global average, that is 24%. And women entrepreneurs constitute only 10% of the total number of entrepreneurs in the country. Role models are vital for encouraging more women into technical and business universities as well as to entrepreneurship. Author Rashmi Bansal had published Follow Every Rainbow, Inspiring Stories of 25 Women Entrepreneurs Whose Gentle Touch Created Strong Businesses, a noteworthy book for aspiring entrepreneurs. We have 4 slides projecting women in the corporate world. We have Sheryl Sandberg, the Facebook COO, who had the qualities of being a team player, very compassionate and being highly ambitious. We have a very known personality in the corporate world, Indra Nooyi, the CEO and Chairman of PepsiCo. Every morning you have got to wake up with a healthy fear that the world is changing and the conviction that to win, you have to change faster and be more agile than anything else. So it is in her own words. She is known for her qualities of effective communication, relationship building and serving as a moral compass. We have Irene Rosenfeld, Chairman and CEO of Kraft, who had worked on decentralizing the organization and strengthening teamwork. She had contributed towards revamping product categories to make product relevant to the consumers. She had reduced the cost without compromising the qualities. Next we have Ursula Burns, the Chairman and CEO Xerox Corporation. A person who can define a purpose, select a great team, empower that team appropriately, enable them to understand what greatness is about and then let them go. We have the CEO of IBM, Virginia Romati, who says leadership makes a difference in all things and she focuses on future always. We have Meg Whitman, former eBay chief and the new CEO of Hewlett Packard. In 2014, Whitman was named 20th in Forbes list of the 100 most powerful women in the world, the 4th wealthiest woman in the state of California with a net worth of $1.3 billion in 2010. She has been with Procter & Gamble, Walt Disney, Stride Rite Corporation, etc. and has a wide experience in politics too. We have the CEO of Yahoo, Marissa Mayer, who had led the development of Google's most successful products for more than 10 years and was appointed CEO of Yahoo in 2012 at the age of 37. At the time of Mayer's Yahoo appointment, she was one of the only 20 female CEOs in charge of a Fortune 500 company. In September 2013, Mayer was ranked number 1 by Fortune magazine in its annual 40 Under 40 list of business leaders. The Executive Director and Chief Brand Officer Godrej Group, Tanya Dubash, is known for her powerful innovative capacities, very calm, compassionate, pragmatic and a good listener. Priya Nair, the Executive Director, Home Care, Hindustan Unilever, who is known for innovations again and for her out-of-the-box thinking. Kritika Reddy, the Managing Director of Facebook India. She is the first Indian employee of Facebook. She had been with companies such as Silicon Graphics, Motorola and Phoenix Technologies. We have Neelam Dhawan, the Managing Director of Hewlett Packard India, and she is responsible for the revenue generation, profitability, and she ensures the greatest leverage. We have Dr. Kiran Mazumdar Shah, Chairman and Managing Director of Biocon Limited. She became the India's richest woman in 2004. Today, Biocon, under her leadership, has established itself as a leading player in biomedicine research with a focus on diabetes and oncology. Kiran had received the prestigious Padma Shri in 1989 and the Padma Bhushan in 2005 from the Government of India. We have the biggest name in herbal cosmetics industry, Shahnaz Hussain, the CEO of Shahnaz Herbal Inc. She had introduced a number of trend-setting herbal products. We have Ravina Rajkoli, founder and executive director, Job Corp. He is known as Indian television's first women CEO. Ravina Rajkoli is an international media veteran with an experience of 24 years spanning across television and radio broadcasting, advertising, filming and journalism. Then we have Mallika Srinivasan, the director of TAFE, Tractors and Farms Equipment India. She says, life is so multidimensional that if you can have a positive approach, you can continuously learn from it. We have Preeta Reddy, the Managing Director of Apollo Hospitals, Chennai. She is one of the pioneer business women of India in the segment of healthcare industry. We have Suchi Mukherjee, founder and CEO of the online social discovery platform for women, LimeRoad. Changed the way lifestyle products are discovered, and she brought many people online in India, especially women, and passionate about building consumer technology products. Let's first look at the inspiring story of Anila Jyoti Reddy. Even though she had unpleasant and hurtful experiences, she never felt shy to express. She used to earn ₹5 per day and now is the CEO of key software solutions in the United States. And it has been a long journey for her from Warangal to United States. She is an ardent advocate of orphans' rights. I want to do much more. Women can also become better businessmen than men by sheer hard work and intelligence, she said. She was second of 5 siblings of a poor family. She was in an orphanage for her education. She discontinued her studies after 10th standard. At the age of 16, she was married to her distant cousin. She was a mother of 2 children in the next 2 years. Even though poverty crushed her and she wanted to give a good life for her children, she had the desires of becoming a woman of her own. She joined adult education teacher at a remuneration of ₹120 a month. She joined a typing institute and later on concentrated on crafting. She had been a librarian at Jan Sikshana Nilayam, and she had been a special teacher for 18 months. In 1994, she was earning $2,750, and that was through her regular job, where she worked as a Mandal Girl Child Development Officer. She learned software from VCL Computers in Hyderabad, and in 2000 she left US with much confidence. She was earning $60 for a 12-hour job in a shop in the United States. She worked as a sales girl, then as a room service person in a motel in South Carolina. She was a babysitter, gas station attendant, and later became a software recruiter in Virginia. Gradually, she wanted to started her own company. Today, Jyoti is the CEO of $15 billion IT company, Key Software Solutions, based in Phoenix, Arizona, United States. This is an enlightening inspiration Jyoti Reddy had given to all budding entrepreneurs. As Dr. Kalam had said, every successful story has a painful beginning and every painful beginning has a successful ending. Jyoti Reddy stands as a living example for this saying. Bill Gates has rightly said, if you are born poor, it is not your mistake, but if you die poor, it is your mistake. India needs more entrepreneurs, and the Prime Minister now has introduced very recently Startup India initiative. the government program which aims to fill gaps in the economy for the growth and development of the startups and will aim to boost digital entrepreneurship at the grassroots. The government is expected to earmark around Rs 2000 crore for this initiative. Next we have Patricia Narayan, the director of Sandeepa chain of restaurants, who had been awarded the FICCI Entrepreneur of the Year in 2010. If taken positively, every struggle contains the seed of growth and opportunity. Her first step of becoming an entrepreneur was when she decided to sell bhajis, cutlets, samosas, fresh juice, coffee and tea in Marina Beach, Chennai. On her first day, she could only manage to sell 1 cup of coffee for 50 paise. Her success was not a magic that happened overnight. It nearly took her 30 years to be a successful entrepreneur. She has given certain advices to the young entrepreneurs. Do not ever compromise on quality. Never lose your self-confidence. Believe in yourself and the product you are making. Always stick to what you know. When you employ people, you should know what you ask them to do. Struggle makes us mature to retain the success for a long time. Challenges of women in management. There are many overt and covert glass ceiling factors that hinder women's career growth in the diverse sectors. The challenges can be categorized as follows. We have 3 major categories of organizational, social and individual. In organizational perspective, it is shown that the position of women in the organizational structure, such as few numbers, limited decision-making power, which influences women's career development and progress, shapes and defines the behavior of women. So these are all the factors hindering women in organization. Biased appointment and promotion practices, wherein women is not given the right position even though they possess right qualities. Even the promotion practices, there is a gender bias that male members are given more opportunities than female employees. There is resistance of male to women in senior top level positions, which is evidently shown through several statistics. And there is absence of policies and legislations to ensure representation of women. Absence of women in boardroom decision, limited opportunities for leadership training, and for showcasing competence as a result of poor structure in the workplace. Coming to the social barriers, the socio-cultural perceptions which determine the attitude and the behaviors of women form barriers to the equal participation of women in management. Some of the hindrances are social policies, gender roles and stereotypes, limited human capital, limited support network, gender bias, inequality in domestic obligations, societal judgments. Women is always seen as lower in all respects to male members. Even the society has a kind of a disparity even in the allocation of work both domestically and organizationally. Women is not given equal representation in the organization as well as in their domestic work. Concentrating on the individual factors hindering the women's progress, it is lack of self-esteem and self-confidence. Since they are seen as a stereotyped version of having a particular level of competency, they lack self-esteem and self-confidence. Limited aspirations in the field of management, lack of motivation and ambition to accept challenges to go up in the ladder, women's orientation to interpersonal relations with peers, which could impede their upward mobility, promoted myths regarding women's low potential for leadership, being less assertive, less emotionally stable, and lack of ability to handle crisis. So this is related to the individually women are blocking themselves in not moving forward. But still there are certain factors that would help in advancing them in their career. If they have effective role models, better networking opportunities, and clarity in their roles and expectations, definitely women can upskill their expertise. Compromise on their career in order to fulfill family commitments. When they have family support, definitely women would effectively balance work and life. Preconceived notions that women is stereotyped in doing certain tasks should be totally taken away. And the harassment of women in the workplace also need to be regulated and controlled. There are certain strategies to overcome these barriers. The organizations and the society and people at home, all people in all spheres should integratedly work in overcoming the barriers of women. There should be family-friendly plans to enable both male and female to balance work and life. Avoid sex stereotyping, even in the allocation of job, promotion, their advancements. Conduct of gender audits in the corporates. Adequate training to prepare for future skills. It may be in the form of reskilling or upskilling. Develop inspiring role models. The senior members in the organization can act as mentors for them and inspire them in taking up very confident role in their positions. There should be compatible gender policies. There can be a gender discrimination cell which can work 24/7 in helping women members in contributing their best. There should be absolute family support, good networking, personal development and grooming. To conclude, in today's scenario of women's representation in the workforce, more women than ever are entering the labor force, but the majority of topmost management positions in almost all countries are primarily held by men. Female managers generally tend to be concentrated in lower management positions and have less authority than men. And at the same time, women are still concentrated in traditionally female functional areas such as human resource, corporate communications, community and government relations, marketing and finance. There needs to be systemic changes if companies are serious about bringing in greater diversity in their management and encouraging competent women to overcome the obstacles that society places in their career path.